for middleweight.
Very good shot, right on the chin.
The Cobra, Carl Froch, a former world-class amateur, now on the verge of his first professional title as he challenges for the vacant English super middleweight crown. Across the ring is the undefeated Alan Page from Manchester. The two men were teammates as England amateurs, but you can bet that all camaraderie will be called off for the duration of this contest. Both men have made the walk to the ring. The opening bell is just moments away. So let's join your commentary team of Duke McKenzie and Jim Neely.
Thank you very much indeed, Ronald. Let me first of all run through some of the basic rules set down by the British Boxing Board of Control in all championship contests. The referee is the sole scorer of each contest. In effect, is the mandatory 8 count, and the fighter can only be saved by the bell at the end of the final round. And if you win a round, it's 10 points. If you lose, it's usually 9. And if you get knocked down, it's usually 8. So 4 there of the basic rules as we await for the first English title to be contested at super middleweight between Alan Page and the favourite Carl Froch. So let's first of all go over to our Master of Ceremonies, Mike Goodall.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the first of tonight's main events here at the Derby Storm Arena on BBC Grandstand. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the boxers for this, the Super Middleweight Championship of England over 10 3-minute rounds. Introducing in the blue corner, wearing the solid white trunks, fighting out of Manchester, weighing in at 11 stone 13 and a half pounds. He comes to the ring as an undefeated professional. 8 wins from 8 contests, 4 wins by way of knockout. Please welcome Manchester's Alan Page. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, across the ring in the blue corner, wearing his familiar snakeskin trunks, coming from Nottingham, weighing in at 11 stone 13 pounds. He also is undefeated as a professional. 9 wins coming from 9 contests. 7 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former 2 times ABA champion, presenting Nottingham's very own Carl the Cobra Froch. The officials appointed for this contest by the British Boxing Board of Control, the steward in charge, Mr. Dave Roden, the timekeeper, Mr. Tony Dunkley, the referee from Wolverhampton, Mr. John Coyle, who will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, gentlemen, I just ask 3 things. Obey my instructions, obey the rules, and let's see good sportsmanship. Shake hands, good luck.
For the first round.
So 10 3-minute rounds, and the man in the print trunks, the grey print trunks, Carl Froch, in this just his 10th professional contest, and what a coup it would be to pick up a title as he reaches double figures in terms of professional boxing. But the man who was his former England teammate at senior representative level in the long white trunks from Manchester, Alan Page, I'm quite sure will have other ideas. The English title, incidentally, is regarded as a stepping stone between area titles and the full British title, and if you win a British title, then you have to relinquish the English title. Duke McKenzie may have some thoughts on the actual validity of these titles.
Well, you know, the English Championship's just been introduced by the British Boxing Board of Control, so it's a good sort of stepping stone, as you just said, Jim, onto the domestic British Championship, which is a very prestigious championship in its own right.
Well, Froch has been one of the most outstanding amateurs produced by Britain in the last half dozen years or so. Double ABA champion, just landed with a very good right hand, and a world bronze medalist in the championships in Belfast a couple of years ago. The first English boxer to get to the semi-finals. Froch had some 6 months of inactivity due to some knee surgery, and last time out had a pretty good win, albeit on points, over a tough Russian, Vacant, who incidentally had gone the distance with Glenn Catley, a former world champion, and the Belfast man, Brian McGee. Froch looks lean and fit and very easy.
Yeah, he looks very, very relaxed. He's got a very relaxed style, as we've said before. You know, Page is very much up for this fight. He knows that if he can push Froch, or more importantly, if he can beat Froch, then he's going to be the top boy, you know.
Solid little right hand from Froch. Page has got the hands held very high, in contrast to Froch, who tends to leave that left one ominously low, but it doesn't seem to bother him so far. Page, now 27 years old, has just given up his job as a joiner to go full-time, trained by Steve Alford. And Page making a good fist of this. Might just be a little nick on Page's left eyebrow. Good right hand once again by Froch. Hard just to see even from the proximity of ringside. Looks more like a graze than anything else. 30 seconds to go.
I think he's just got a slight graze there. Froch has landed once or twice with the right hand high on the forehead of Page.
Froch going to the body for the first time. John Coyle breaks them up. Great support for both men here in Derby. Froch looking nice and easy and comfortable. Page looking a little bit on the anxious side. Quite a step up in class for Page. And a very interesting opening round. So there's Carl Froch, some 26 years old. This is 10th professional contest.
Let's be a bit busier, all right? Okay?
First time, I think, Chuck McKenzie, I've heard Rodney McCracken say, don't want those hands down there and keep them up. That's interesting.
Well, it's interesting, you know, Froch has got a very relaxed style, as we stated earlier. You know, he's got a young, unbeaten fighter as he is in front of him. He can't afford to take unnecessary risks.
So the man coming out of the blue corner in the white trunks, Alan Page, now 27, has been sparring with the former WBC super middleweight champion Robin Reid, who's going to Germany in a couple of weeks' time to challenge Sven Otka for the IBF and WBA crowns, and that's a fight I'm delighted to say you'll be able to see with us on BBC television on Saturday, December the 13th. Let's see how much of that work with Robin Reid has paid off for Alan Page against one of the prospects in British boxing at the moment, Carl Froch.
Yeah, Froch just looks like he's just biding his time, just waiting to just steadily work his way into this fight. You know, it's his first scheduled 10-round fight, as it is for Page. Good right hand from Page. There is right over the top of that lazy left hand from Froch.
Well, Froch still has that left very low, as indeed as his former British teammate, an English teammate, David Hay, but it works for both of them. Mick Hennessy getting a bit agitated. I think he's saying to Froch that he's maybe not just doing enough. He's been rather lazy, Froch, but that tends to be his style. And he does strike very quickly, like the proverbial cobra, after whom he takes his nickname. Step back on the command break from John Coyle to both of them.
Both boxers, I believe, this is their first 10-round scheduled fight, so in their mind, mentally, they're going to want to be saying to themselves, you know, can I do the distance, and if I can, how strong will I be when we get into the later rounds?
Well, Froch has come here off a hard 10-rounder against a useful Russian. Page, by contrast, had a 6-rounder in Sheffield against Mark Phillips from Wales, who lost 14 of his previous 18. But Page at this stage is making more than a decent contest of it. He's making Froch think all the time. And Froch has to work out a way to get inside that high-held guard of Page's. Good footwork by Froch, just tantalizing, and to the body, and to the head.
It's a little bit better with the jab from Froch, just up and down. He was jabbing to head and chest there, and he had a nice bit of success. I'd like to see him do a little bit more than that.
Good right hand from Page, and Froch read it well, though. Left that time from Page. He is catching Froch. Right hand from Froch, paid him back, and again.
You just feel the greater power, the one-punch power, actually lies with Froch.
Well, he stopped 7 of 9 opponents, as opposed to 4 from 8 for Alan Page. Page incurs the wrath of John Coyle for some injudicious holding. Good shot by Froch. Just has the accuracy there. Good footwork by him. Page grins at his former England teammate, but it was a rueful smile, and that was a much better second round for Carl Froch. A little bit of blood coming the nose there of Alan Page. Froch just got himself caught with a right hand at the start of the round, and Page followed it up with a decent looking left. But by the end of that round, it was Froch who was very much in the ascendancy. What a corking straight right through the middle.
All right, little movements, catch, and then there's overtime with this jab.
Pause 10 seconds.
Concentrate. Concentrate.
Second round,
2 rounds gone, scheduled for 10, remember. At stake, the vacant British super middleweight title, the 12-stone division, 168 pounds. Carl Froch from Nottingham in the grey, and Alan Page from Manchester in the white.
It'll be interesting to see how Page actually gets on with the same shots, if he takes the same shots later on in the rounds, if he responds as well. He took an absolute corker of a right hand from Froch at the end of that round.
Page moving very nicely. Again, Froch trying to draw down the defence of Page, hooking him into the body.
And there's better variety from Froch, you know, going to head and body. I'd like to see him work that jab though, because that will open up. He needs to penetrate that defence from Page. He needs to open up with a jab where he can land the right hand again.
Good footwork by Froch, much faster hands. Good solid shots into the ribs. Oh, lovely switch by Froch. He feinted with the right and then delivered.
That was class from Froch. That really was a good, classy shot, and landed. Showed him it and hit him with it.
Midway through the 3rd round. A bit of redness on the bridge of Froch's nose. Page trying to slice away, but Froch is making him miss. Page needs to step in. Well, Page is giving it a very good go.
He certainly is. You know, Froch is bringing out the best in Page. He's making him fight a harder fight than he probably wants to right now. It's a little bit too early for him to be standing and trading, trying to take Froch out. He won't do it.
Froch turned his back away accidentally. Froch just waiting for his man to come to him. His little jabs just remind Page that Froch can set him up. Froch's timing is not there.
Well, he's just thrown 4 punches and missed with them all. Needs to try and get a little bit closer, shorten the punches, and he'll get the success.
That was a good left into the ribs, actually, and Page winced a little bit and blew pretty heavily.
Froch has got amazing reflexes. You know, with somebody that carries their hands so low, you need to have good reflex.
Into the body again. Page didn't quite get him with the counter. Wasn't too much between them in that particular round. I felt the first 2 certainly went to Carl Froch. And it was Page who got himself just about out of the way and no more with that sweeping left hand from Froch.
Corners 10 seconds.
You have to break him up with a jab. And just look for your combination. You don't want
Seconds out, round 4.
Robert McCracken exhorting Carl Froch to break him up with the jab, which he has to do. Page, as ever, the hands held high. Good defensive work by him, and Froch is going to try to work out a way to break down that defense. Already looking for the midriff. Snappier now by Froch. Is he going to turn it up a little bit?
I think what Froch has done is just boxed with this kid for the first couple of rounds, and I think we'll just see him start going through the gears now. But Page won't be denied. He's going to go with Froch. I think whatever Froch comes at him with, he will come back and meet fire with fire.
Terrific atmosphere here in Derby. Manchester against Nottingham in the ring, however. Wolverhampton refereeing in the shape of John Coyle. Good solid right by Froch. Bit of a grimace from Page, but he stepped through it.
Froch is a real good punch picker. He sets that right hand up with real accuracy.
Well, I still have reservations about that very low left hand of his. Somebody with much more experience may get a hard right round the corner, as Page very nearly did in the first round. Page hasn't thrown a right at all for a couple of rounds.
No, he certainly hasn't. He's had a little bit of success with his own jab because Froch has got his left hand so low.
Good footwork by Froch. He really moves nicely.
Froch looks like the one to me who's actually pacing this just slightly marginally better right now.
Again, Froch's timing with that right hand was a little bit off. It's good work by Froch, not wanting to get caught up in a brawl.
And what Froch actually does, the fact that he's got his left hand so low, he tucks his chin right down into his left shoulder where he can't be caught clean.
Very confident, Froch, and Page tends to stand a little bit square, and Froch almost is at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Makes himself a hard target to hit.
Absolutely.
Vicious right, oh, vicious right.
He's landing from range now, Froch. He's just starting to turn the gears up a little bit. As I said earlier, he's got long arms and he can afford to whip those punches in, up and down the body and to the head, at distance.
Page has taken a few good solid shots and he's still there. Left hook from Froch was right on the money. Page had to cover up. Don't know that Froch has got time, but that's a good solid right to the body by Froch. Bit of a slip from Page, just caught off balance. Froch doubling up the shots now, really turning on the power. This is the best we've seen of Froch. If round 3 was even, there's no doubt about who's run round 4. Great finish by Froch.
Well, that's where the fight's just taken a twist now. Froch has actually stamped his authority and shown this kid who's the boss in punching terms. Good round by Froch.
Froch just moving out of the way and then snapping back and snarling back and lashing back and landing with those good shots. Even took one in the middle of all that, but he was happy enough to get his own shots in, and even managed to clip Page on the chin as he stumbled forward.
Seconds out, round 5.
A much more focused look in Carl Froch's eyes to start this round. You know, his confidence is absolutely soaring now. That's better from Froch, trebling, doubling the jab. That's what we want to see.
And again, that right hand coming across. Page is still there. Page just over a year older than Froch and has had one fight less.
Page is allowing Froch to fight this fight at his pace. You know, he's just allowing, every now and again he takes a step back and he admires the work that he's done. That's the difference between these two at the moment, is that when Froch lands a good punch, he takes the initiative and he capitalizes on it. But when Page lands a good punch, he stands back and admires it.
Just a minute gone in the 5th. 10 rounds, remember, for this Vacant English super middleweight title. Froch with a slight reach advantage, big long arms, long rangy arms.
Page must realise now that he's a round or two down, and I expect a big surge in effort from this guy. He's just getting picked off at range.
Good stiff jab by Froch, working well behind it. Drops that left hand right down to his knee, but such is his hand speed, round the corner with the right. Page is doing well to hold him off.
It's good variety from Froch.
Great division this super middleweight division has been since its inception. From a British point of view, some terrific names down the years. And still a good division with Joe Calzaghe and Robin Reid, Brian McGee, Glenn Catley.
Yeah, it's quite a tasty division, and you know, Froch is a useful addition to that list you've just listed off there.
Again, Froch getting through with that good right hand. Takes him a couple just to break down the defense of a gallant Alan Page, who's now starting to suffer a little bit as Froch is getting him to the body. And even though Page is blocking a lot of shots, it's really taking the steam out of him.
The good thing about Froch is that he's working head and body, he's going up and down. He hasn't just gone head hunting.
It's a good measured performance by Froch so far. But Page has kept him honest. Froch knows that he can't afford to relax. Froch forces the pace, and on the other side of the ring, a rather ring-weary Alan Page went back to his corner.
Froch always seems to have the final say of any exchange, and he's landing some meaty shots now. That was another good round for him. He stamped his authority in the round previous this, and he's had an even better round this round. Good systematic boxing from Froch.
Working well behind that ramrod-like left hand. Midway through this scheduled 10-rounder for the vacant English super middleweight title. Carl Froch in the grey, looking pretty comfortable against his former England senior amateur teammate Alan Page.
Now when Froch uses that jab, he really looks good, he looks special. Just doesn't use it often enough for my liking as yet.
Right hand from Page, but there wasn't much behind it.
Page really needs to start trying to roll from the waist and roll his way in instead of walking in a straight line. He just gets picked up with the jab when he does that.
And his own jab just falling a little bit short. Swelling underneath Froch's right eye. Froch starting to enjoy this now. I really don't like to see that. Great hand speed from Froch. Oh, straight through the middle. That was a terrific feint. Beautifully disguised by Froch.
Yeah, Froch is really enjoying this one. Showboating to the crowd. He's really paying this kid in this round. There's no need for the showboating, but everything else is real, genuinely class.
Well, the crowd are on their feet now as Froch just starts to turn it up. Took a little short, stiff jab from Page and just blinked his eyes and shrugged it off. Froch finding his target with unerring accuracy at this stage.
There's a definite golf in class. Page is just not quite at the races. He's just not up to the same work rate and the hand speed and power that Froch actually carries.
Bit of blood coming from the nose of Alan Page, not surprisingly. He's taken a shot or two. And again, that tantalizing jab of Froch is keeping his man at distance. 1 minute to go to the end of the sixth.
I just feel that Page is getting a little bit disheartened now.
Well, there's that feint again by Froch, and that scything right hand through the middle.
Page just looked to his corner there as if to say, help me out here. He got caught with a blistering shot, went right through the guard, lifted his head right up, and it's Froch again that takes the ascendancy and starts to carry this fight.
Well, again, I would prefer if Froch didn't do all that showboating stuff. That's his style. And this is more his style. Page in a bit of trouble. The knees wobbled. Froch can finish this before the end of round 6. Page really in some distress. Gallant fella coming back. The corner, I think, is saying to him, keep going. 10 seconds to go, and he's going to survive this one. But Froch has just turned up the wick. Little bounce from both of them, a little baleful glance, and Froch looks at him as if to say, any time now, Buster, in your mind.
Well, you know, another real purposeful one-sided round, I have to say it, by Froch. Really turned up the heat there. What a fantastic right hand, straight through the guard, followed with a left hook.
He teases and then he comes straight through, and Page's defense has been pretty good, but Froch just found that little gap and straight through the middle. And had Page not been on the retreat, had he been coming forward, that fight would have been all over. A very generous touch of gloves, and back they get down to the serious business of deciding the vacant English super middleweight title. And at the moment, the man who's going to wear that, the very first person to wear it, is going to be the man in the grey, Carl Froch. Little puff from Froch. Chin tucked in, head down, perhaps compensates, plus his awkward stance for that low left hand of his, which worries a lot of people.
Well, Froch did work quite hard in that last round and the round previous to that. It's no wonder he might just be feeling the pace just a little bit. Page, to his credit, though, won't stop trying. Still got, walks into a big right hand now. I was just about to say, he's got a high guard, which, you know, seems to have stopped most of the shots tonight, but Froch will find a way, and has found a way, to penetrate that guard.
Page falling short. Good combinations by Froch. Page has kept the hands up pretty high, and Froch has had to produce one or two very interesting shots to penetrate that guard. We saw a couple of them in the last round, and again Froch just taking those rather tentative jabs of Page on his chin without any real regard for their power.
Once Froch steps off the gas, you can see Page just say to himself, you know, maybe I've got a chance, maybe I can come forward. But as he walks forward, he walks onto a big right hand like that from Froch.
Clipping right hand. Oh, that was a good shot. He stopped it. He's not going to let him take any more. Good decision. Good decision. He was so far behind on points. There was no point in him getting hurt. And that was one punch, perhaps just too many, for a very gallant Alan Page. And Carl Froch has added the English super middleweight title to his list of accomplishments. He did it in very, very impressive style as well. He paced it pretty well all the way through. Took the foot off the pedal maybe about round 3. That was a terrific shot. Terrific shot. And another one to follow it up, and good refereeing by John Coyle.
Oh, that was real quality. The right uppercut went right through the guard, and Page, unfortunately, just didn't know where he was. You know, that punch spun him right round, and he was heading back to the corner. He didn't really know where he was. Absolutely pinpoint timing by the referee to stop the fight. A-class referee.
Carl Froch, 10 professional contests, an English champion. How does that feel?
It feels great. Yeah, 10 fights, and I'm on the first step of the ladder now to big things. That's my first title. Really good. Really excited about it.
How would you rate that performance?
That was a reasonable performance, considering it was a title fight. There was a lot of pressure coming in, and it took me a couple of rounds to relax. But once I started to relax, I got my shots flowing, and people seen what I can do.
You'd known Alan from your amateur days. Did that make any difference?
Not really. I seen him yesterday. He's a gentleman. Just like I say, Alan Page is a gentleman, and he's a good friend. I get on with him well. So there was no hard feelings or no needle in this competition. But no, it didn't make it any harder. When you get in here, it's business. I've got a job to do, and that's what I come here and done tonight.
He had a very high guard, and I suppose one of the things that you had to do was to try to break that down.
That's right, yeah, I had to work the body a little bit and then send the jab through the middle of his high guard. But as you've seen for yourself, a high guard doesn't always work. It didn't work for him.
You still seem pretty happy holding that left hand of yours down somewhere around your knees.
That's it. I mean, that's just the way I fight, and that's my style. I get my chin tucked into my shoulder. I've got the best trainer in the world here, and he's teaching me how to defend behind my shoulder, and I'm confident coming in with Rob that everything's going to go well, defensively, offensively, everything.
The finish, when it came, it took you a while to sort of actually break him down, and I think all those shots to the body and to the arms were gradually bringing down his arms, but you must have been pleased with that finish.
Oh, definitely. I caught him with a sweet uppercut, I believe. I've not seen it, so I won't know, but I think it was a nice right uppercut. I felt the glove land, and he was completely gone. That's why he turned his back. If he stayed facing me, I think he would have hit the canvas. But he's a tough, durable gentleman, and I did the job tonight. Really happy.
And right decision from the referee, do you feel?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the toe to defend yourself at all times, and Alan Page turned his back on me, and he was in no position to defend himself, so the referee had no choice but to stop the fight.
We look forward to seeing you in action again soon. Well done, Carl.
Thanks a lot, Jim.